Hey you guys, welcome to the Moody Muse Tarot. My name is Shayla. I am the Moody Muse. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. Thanks for being here. Not only do I do astrological forecasts, like we talk about the astrology for the month. I also do readings on those important astrological transits, and I also do intuitive guided readings, tarot, all that good stuff. So check out my channel if you would like. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. This Astro Forecast is very, very important, I feel like, because it is September. It is that moment before the seasons change. So it's a chance for us to reflect. It's a chance for us to plan on how we're going to move forward. Also, there's a lot of important astrology happening. A lot of important energies are going to be affecting us. And the astrology says that this is probably going to be the best month for the rest of the year. I know y'all probably have heard the term dark winter and things like that. On a collective level, on a worldwide level, things are going to get a lot more difficult. And so on a personal level, I just want you guys to be informed about what's going on with you, and help you navigate this energy effectively. So Virgo season is coming. I don't know about y'all, but for the last 2 months, it has been chaotic. It has been a lot of hills and valleys. It has been ups and downs for me. I feel like we have been feeling that on a collective level. So Virgo season comes in and brings in a sense of groundedness, calming energy. Like I said, it is a transitional time. It's a time for us to catch our breaths. It's retrograde season, so it's a chance for us to reflect, rest, recover from what has been happening, and a chance for us to prepare and plan to move forward. That's why I love Virgo season. I'm a Virgo rising. My mom is a Virgo sun. I love Virgos. So we're going to start with what's happening on September 4th. Venus is going to enter Virgo. That is going to be from September 4th to September 29th. So pretty much the whole month. It's going to be creating a square with Mars, which is in Gemini. So we're going to be experiencing the energy of that square for the remainder of the month, pretty much. Squares are known as difficult aspects in astrological terms, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get a favorable outcome. So keep that in mind. So this squared energy, the square between Venus and Mars, kind of creates intense desire. Okay, so desires will be highlighted. I just heard addictions. I'm gonna get into that a little bit as we go through all the astrology. I want to take my time because, like I said, these are a lot of important things that I really want you guys to understand and comprehend. So let me get my Gemini mind in order and not be chaotic about it. I got my notes. Okay, so desires will be highlighted and stimulated. This goes for sexual desires. This goes for creative desires. I am feeling like a lot of people are going to be experimenting with new things. You might be experimenting, take this energy to experiment with your art, your style. A lot of people might be bored with their style, want to change up their style a little bit. Their artistic expression is evolving and changing. So you want to use that energy. Like I said, it is a square. So if you don't go with the energy and follow those new desires that you might be feeling, you might start feeling a bit repressed, a little bit trapped. So you want to go ahead and experiment, separate from old things and try new things that might make you feel a bit more satisfied. Okay, like I said, Virgo is a very sensual sign. They're sensual, but they're practical. Okay, so I'm hearing that I'm gonna just say it. I feel like there's some people who might want to experiment sexually. Might want to bring somebody else into the bedroom. You might be attracted. There's new attractions rising. Like I said, that goes for your art, your self-expression, your creativity, and also your sexual desire. So I feel like a lot of people in this month might be experimenting, trying new things, might have a little bit of gay in them, wanting to pursue that. But you do want to avoid impulsivity. With that Gemini energy, and then with this square, you don't want to just jump into something. You want to be aware of especially if you're in a relationship, or if you're pursuing someone or something, you want to be aware of the consequences of chasing these desires. You don't want to be overcome by them. Okay, so watch out for that. That's pretty much what is going on with the square between Gemini, the Mars in Gemini, and the Venus in Virgo. Now, Venus in Virgo is, like I said, it's very sensual. You know, everybody always thinks about romantic nature when they think about Venus, so you guys might, you know, Virgo is the freak of the zodiac. If you don't know, then now you know. But besides that, you're going to where you are entertained, how you choose to be entertained. It's going to have to make sense with your life. Because like I said, Virgo is sensual, yet they're practical. Virgo is very, very practical. The way you make your money, the way you, you know, the things you do to entertain yourself. Like I said about addiction, what I was talking about earlier, it's like I feel like a lot of us more concerned about our health at this time are going to be maybe drinking less, smoking less, or feeling the urge to do so. Okay, you might feel guilty at this time for self-indulging. That's okay. You know, don't be overcome by guilt. It's okay to self-indulge to a degree. Remember, practical, Virgo, practical, Virgo, practical. And be careful not to be overly critical of your partners or yourself. Don't be worrisome. You know, these are all Virgo traits, and this is all that we all might be experiencing while Venus is in Virgo. Like I said, it's going to be for the remainder of the month. Okay. So, moving on September 9th, the retrograde. Everybody is always so consumed about the retrograde, particularly Mercury retrograde, which I find very interesting, but not really, because it makes sense. We experience Mercury retrograde like 3 times, you know, mostly out of the year. More than any other retrograde. It's an inner planet, so we feel that energy intensely. But this season, Mercury is going to be in Libra. So it's going to begin in Libra in retrograde, okay? It's going to be in 2 different signs, which happens during retrogrades. Every single retrograde this year has started in an air sign and ended in an earth sign. Okay, so go back and look at that. I can't touch on everything, but that's very important to note. So let's just focus on the first half of the retrograde, which is going to be September 9th to September 23rd. It's going to be in Libra. You know, Libra is all about fairness, it's about balance, it's about how you connect to people in the world, how you present yourself in the world, how you find balance in your life. Okay, so you're going to be, remember, when you think retrograde, you think reconsider, revise, review. So you take this time to recognize what your life has been showing you. You know, like, is everyone in your relationship, and this is not just relationships for romantic, I mean like jobs or family members, is everyone in this connection, in this relationship, in this collaboration, is everyone pulling their weight? Is there any thoughts or ideas or actions that are outdated, that don't work anymore? Is any of your technology outdated? You know, because this is an air sign, it's about technology. You want to look at that. You want to make sure all your information is backed up, saved, double check everything that you're doing, double check messages that you're sending. And specifically this being in Libra, you're going to see, are you in alignment with how you present yourself to the world? How you present yourself, is that who you are? Does that make sense? So this is how you kind of want to navigate the first half of the retrograde. Something else I want to know is that 6 planets right now are, once Mercury goes retrograde, which will be on the 9th of September, that's coming up, 6 planets in total will be in retrograde, okay? So the other 5 are all outer planets. That's Mercury, Uranus, Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune. I'm sorry. let me start again. The outer planets that are in retrograde currently are Uranus, Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn. Those are the outer planets. Outer meaning that one, they affect us on a collective scale. That's where we see the effects more on a collective scale, and also because we feel the energy less because the planets are further away from where we are on Earth. Now, Mercury is the only planet that is stationary retrograde this month. So, just be aware of that. So it is going to be a very deeply reflective, introspective time for the entire world. But right now, just kind of focus on Mercury being in retrograde, okay? Because that's going to be what we feel the most. All right. So, again, with Libra being the first half of this retrograde, we're going to be looking at how we respond and how we react to the people in our environment. We're going to feel more drawn to be a little bit more, we're going to be more willing to compromise, which is good. Just don't over compromise who you are, which I feel that Libra tends to do. They try to meet people on their level, forgetting their own standards. Don't do that. But you do want to have a certain level of empathy. You might want to experiment, if you're usually an introvert. Now Gemini doesn't have a problem with that. I'm a Gemini. You can see it right there. But I don't have a problem meeting nobody where they're at. That's kind of what I do. And that's why I feel that Geminis and Libras are so similar. Kind of like cousins. But so if that's not how you tend to operate, you might want to experiment, try to meet people where they're at. If it's more of a lively place that you're in, if people are lively, if people are energetic, you might want to try to experiment, be a little bit more energetic. If especially in your relationship, let's talk about that for a second. If your partner is a bit more intense, meet them with intensity as well. If they're a little bit more quiet and reserved, try being a little more reserved with them. You just kind of want to interact with people in a more agreeable way, if that makes sense, or reflect how you tend to do so. And with all these transits so far, we've talked about Virgo being in Venus and creating a square with Gemini and Mars, and I feel like that, along with the Libra retrograde, there's a lot of things going on that are going to test our communication. It's going to test our relationships. So you want to be patient with your partner. You want to be willing to work with them. That's kind of what this month is really about. There's so many different transits that kind of it's giving testing energy, like testing your commitment to the other person, and you will be able to clearly see if your partner is willing to work with you as well. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's, the Pisces full moon, that's what we're going to touch on next after I talk about the second half of retrograde. With the Pisces full moon, it's a really, really big, it's a big connection to endings, with Pisces being the last of the zodiac, and then it's a full moon, that's the end of cycle. So yeah, a lot of relationships may be ending if you guys aren't willing to compromise, aren't willing to go with this energy. And you need to recognize that if you're the one that is willing to do the work, then your partner is not, that's something you need to recognize. And like I said, go with the energy. That's why I'm telling you this. That's why I love astrology, because your literal life reflects the energy of the planets. The energy of the planets reflects in your life. It's really important. It's important stuff. So that was the first half of the Mercury retrograde. The second half of the retrograde is September 23rd to October 2nd. So September 23rd, Mercury is going to continue to move backwards into Virgo. So it's going from Libra to Virgo. If you don't know the order of the zodiac, you need to figure that out now. It'll help you understand certain concepts in astrology. But it's continuing that backward moment into Virgo. So Virgo is exalted in Mercury. They are a mercurial sign ruled by Mercury. So you're bound to feel more productive, more logical, more efficient, more practical. You know, and that's what I'm saying. If your partner is going against this energy with Libra of balance, of compromise, of understanding, of meeting people where they are, on top of the second half of the retrograde, if your partner has no plans for their lives, if they're not effectively communicating with you about how they feel about your goals, your foundation, if they ain't making no sense, then a relationship don't make no sense. Like, if your relationship survives this month, then you gotta go and hold on to them, okay? So the second half of Mercury retrograde will be a bit more, it'll be a bit easier, okay? You're gonna be reconsidering your budgets, like I said, timelines about, what timeline are we on, where are we going, where do we plan to be. This is a good time to discuss future plans with your partner or with yourself. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Create a 5-year plan. Virgo's all about listing, making plans. You want to tap into that energy. If you see any discrepancies, in your life, anything that's not in alignment with where you're trying to go, then you want to go ahead and plan a course of correction during this retrograde. That's how you use that energy. Virgo is all about details, so you're going to be very critical of everything. Remember to, if you're criticizing anyone, yourself, your partner, your job, anything that you're critiquing at this time, you want it to be constructive. You don't want to destroy someone with your criticism. Also, something to note, you should feel the urge to improve your health, especially your gut health. Virgo rules the stomach. You might want to learn how to curb your stress, things like that. Those are things that are going to be highlighted in the second half of the Mercury RX. So on October 3rd, Mercury is going to go back direct in Virgo. So moving on, and I'm making good time. September 10th, the full moon is going to be in Pisces. Like I said, this is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a full moon, big connection to endings. Okay, I think the last full moon in Pisces was in March or so, and that's why it's so important to keep up with the full moons and the new moons. And I'm working on something to help people do that. Got a lot of things planned, but anyway, that's why it's important, so you can see the patterns in your life. So a lot of things that you might have started at the Pisces, I'm sorry, not the Pisces new moon, the full moon, the Pisces new moon that happened, I think, in March of this year. You might see those plans coming to a close. You might be transitioning into something new based on that. Something that I will note, I'm not going to go into detail, maybe when I get paid for it, but this full moon in Pisces is making very strong aspects to the outer planets, meaning it means big news for the collective, big news for the world. Like I said, this is a transitional time. We astrologers know that the rest of this year is going to get harder. It's going to get harder, okay, on a grand scale, on a global scale, okay? It's this full moon in Pisces creating a sextile with Pluto and Uranus and a conjunction with Neptune. Okay, so like I said, maybe one day when I get paid for it, I'll go into detail about those things. But just for you to know, look out for big news that will affect the entire world. Big things are going to be occurring in the last couple of months of the year. Okay, and I find it interesting that astrology states that it may have something to do with the water, and then the big news. And what is it, Jackson, Mississippi is having this water crisis. I mean, mundane astrology, which is astrology about world events, like it's not personal, things that are going on in the world, is important too. So keep a lookout for that. You might want to, I don't know, start stockpiling water or something, get water filters, something like that. So this full moon in Pisces happens the day after Mercury goes retrograde in Libra. So I know full moons are usually about clarity and things like that, which they are. But because of the current energy, it might feel scattered, chaotic. You might feel unsure of how to proceed forward. But like I said, we take everything as good. We meet everything with positivity. You know, I'm not gonna fearmonger anyone. That's not. I don't have time for fear in my life. I don't want y'all to make time for fear in y'all's. Okay, so when things feel out of control, take that as a chance for you to explore surrendering. You know, control and force will not work under this energy. It's more about surrendering, taking the path of least resistance. And honestly, with the Pisces energy, it's like the veil thins during Pisces season. Anything having to do with Pisces energy is a very spiritual time. You know, we all have that ability to spiritually connect. And I feel like Pisces energy gives everyone a chance to do that, even if they don't usually. So, like I said, things may feel scattered. You might be unsure about how to move forward. So this is your chance to access, this is a really good time to do rituals. Try to access higher intuition, speak to your higher self, your spirit guides, your ancestors, speak with source, do all those good things. Explore what it really means to surrender, to let go of control, and to just feel your way forward instead of logically thinking your way forward. The answers to your problems will probably come to you easier at this time if you feel your way forward rather than trying to find a logical explanation. The heart doesn't need a logical explanation, it just needs to feel. So go ahead and access that energy. One last note, the energy of Mars, Mars being in Gemini, is going to be causing trouble. Gemini troublemakers, they're going to be causing trouble for the rest of this month. The energy of Mars is going to be activated under this Pisces full moon. So just take your time, slow down, don't make impulsive decisions because of heightened emotions. Okay. Moving on, September 22nd. Fall equinox. Fall is my most favorite time of the year. It's all about change. It's all about transition. It's about rest. Things are starting to slow down. It's just the most beautiful time of the year, okay? So something important I want to note. On September 22nd, put this in your calendars because I want everyone to take advantage of this day, September 22nd. Fall equinox. If you have never celebrated an equinox or a solstice, look into this one because, like I said, this year is going to test a lot of us. The rest of this year, people are wanting to. I see a lot of people saying, I'm going full steam ahead for the rest of the year, and I'm like, the astrology just don't support that. It just don't support it. It's time to slow down when the fall comes. It's time to rest, recuperate, recover, plan. That's what you're meant to be doing. Think about it. If we were out in nature, if we were truly the animals that we are, fall is a time of slowness. Fall is a time of sleeping, of preparing for the winter. Okay? Let's get it back into our natural vibes. All right? So, on September 22nd, it's going to be the fall equinox. Okay? If you want to look up the fall equinox, how to celebrate it or how to welcome fall, look that up. But Mercury will be in Libra still, and the sun will also be in Libra. So on this day, I feel like with it being the fall equinox, Mercury is in Libra, even though it is a retrograde, and the sun will also be in Libra for that one day. Spend that time really being introspective, really trying to understand yourself, understand what's going on around you, because that is the day of clarity. I feel like it'll bring a lot of clarity in this confusion, and it might bring a lot of spiritual, creative breakthroughs for you guys. So I really hope that y'all take advantage of September 22nd, okay? It seems kind of important to me. Okay, we already talked about the second half of Mercury retrograde on September 22nd. Like I just said, the sun will enter Libra. So we'll talk more about that in Libra season. And then on September 25th, the new moon is going to be in Libra. Now, this new moon is going to create an opposition with Jupiter and a trine with Pluto. So what that means, an opposition and a trine with these particular planets, it's kind of like it's giving growth and transformation, which is appropriate for the times that we are in. So just be aware of that energy at the new moon. Okay? So just side notes, Uranus is still in retrograde until January 22nd. Mars is still in Gemini until January 12th. It's going to retrograde next month. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. I really hope that was helpful. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope I didn't talk your head off. I hope it all made sense. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.